Hey there, this is Lewis. Welcome back to another Secure Gateways demo. In this session, I will focus on M365 Change Logs, also known as Delta records. I will give you a quick overview of the interface and its basic use for endpoint lifecycle management. Let's dive in. We're back in our Secure Gateways app in the Change Logs. As you can see from the number of search boxes, this section has a lot to unpack. Please also note that this is an updated view compared to the one you have seen in the previous demo. Let's see what we're working with. At the top of the screen, you'll find a table with the latest file version for each cloud instance. This information is useful when you want to compare versions and track the history of changes for a set of endpoints. The main table is to the right. Let's examine the information it contains. We start with identifiers such as the change ID, the cloud instance, the version, and the endpoint set ID. We then find the previous and current service areas. These are the main product categories such as Skype, SharePoint, Exchange, etc. Next, you will find the disposition add, change, or remove. This is the type of change that has happened. In most fields, you will also find the date they have taken effect. Next, you will find the impact. This qualifies the type of endpoint the disposition applies to. Next are the previous and current categories, which are similar to the M365 endpoint section: allow, default, and optimize. We now start to see the changes content, the IPs, URLs, and ports that need to be added or removed. Finally, we have the previous and current required status, express route, and notes. I will now show you how to use the filters and searches on the rest of the page to obtain useful information. Let's go. Now that we have familiarized ourselves with the interface, let's see what we can do with it. The most obvious use case is endpoint lifecycle management. This means that we can track endpoints that have been updated or deprecated. Let's say you're revising your firewall rules or the documentation for a solution. You don't want to go through every rule, you just want to see what has changed since the last time you checked. Here's where the change logs come into place. For example, we want to check if the Exchange endpoints for your DoD cloud instance are still the same. Let's find the service area search box and type in Exchange. We want to search in the previous service area field because we don't know if those endpoints have been repurposed for another area. So we click on the correspondent tag under the search box to launch our search. Now we select DoD under the instance slicer. The results show 3 changes. IPs or URLs were removed. Let's scroll over to see what endpoints these are. Since there are no current values to replace them, I can now remove them from my firewall configuration without reviewing the entire set of rules. Let's scroll over to check further details. We now know these endpoints were previously required, and one of these changes also applied to express route. If we want to see what happened to a different type of cloud, we can change the selection in the slicer, and there you go. For example, in the worldwide cloud instance, we can see that these changes were more impactful, and if we scroll to the right, we will find a note explaining that these changes were due to the Exchange Online IMAP 4 migration. Of course, there's much more you can do to simplify your work with the Secure Gateways M365 Change Logs. When you have digested this first part, prepare for a deep dive into mastering this section of Secure Gateways. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next demo.